Have you ever noticed how one child never says, "When I grow up, I want to be exactly like Mark Zuckerberg"? On the surface, it seems that everyone aspires to be like him. He's created something that most people utilize daily. Others in comparable positions of power have chosen a different route and have a completely different perspective on society. Mark Zuckerberg isn't necessarily a terrible or wicked person, but he's done enough to irritate a lot of people. So for today's video, let's discuss why Mark Zuckerberg is the world's most hated billionaire. But before we get into it, do me a favor, smash the like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button for notifications whenever a new video is published. CEOs such as Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey and Steve Jobs have encouraged a generation of young people to believe they can do whatever they set their minds to. Their incredible creativity is what makes them admirable. They don't have any limits in their life, but also come out as very genuine and vulnerable. They make the world a better place by using their power. Mark Zuckerberg, whose full name is Mark Elliott Zuckerberg, is an American computer programmer and co-founder of the social networking website Facebook. In 2002, Zuckerberg enrolled at Harvard University after graduating from Phillips Exeter Academy. On February 4, 2004, he established the Facebook.com, then later called Facebook, a directory where other Harvard students could add their information and pictures into a template he had created. Half of the student body had joined up within 2 weeks. Dustin Moskovitz and Chris Hughes, Zuckerberg's roommates, assisted him in adding features and making the site accessible to other schools throughout the nation. Even though registered users could build profiles, post pictures and other material and stay in contact with friends, Facebook rapidly became popular. Its focus on actual identities and email addresses or trusted relationships set it apart from other social networking sites. It also prioritized networking, with information being distributed not to each individual's network of friends, but to also friends of friends. The three relocated to Palo Alto, California in the summer of 2004, when Zuckerberg persuaded venture investor Peter Thiel to give them startup money. Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard to focus on the startup, which later he became CEO and president of. While Harvard University attracts a diverse student body, Mark Zuckerberg rapidly established himself as the campus go-to computer programmer. He had already developed 2 apps by his sophomore year, Course Match and Face Mash. Both courses were very popular, and the latter was eventually shut down by the university because it was considered improper. Based on his popularity at school, Zuckerberg teamed up with colleagues to launch a social networking site that enabled Harvard University students to interact. The site, named The Facebook, went online in June 2004 and was run by Zuckerberg out of his dorm room. After his sophomore year, Zuckerberg dropped out of college to focus full-time on what was then known as Facebook. By the end of 2004, the website had surpassed 1 million visitors. Many venture capital companies were drawn to Zuckerberg's explosive user growth, and he ultimately relocated to Silicon Valley in 2005. Accel Partners contributed $12.7 million in Facebook's initial round of venture capital funding when the site was still exclusively accessible to Ivy League students. By the end of 2005, however, Facebook had expanded to include students from other institutions, bringing the total number of members to 5.5 million. Since 2005, Facebook has attracted several takeover proposals from companies like Yahoo and Microsoft, has faced legal battles, and has seen significant growth in its user base. Facebook announced its first quarter results for 2021 on April 28, 2021. The company reported quarterly sales of $26.17 billion, up 48% from the year-ago quarter, and profits per share and net income above expectations. The number of monthly active users, a crucial measure, increased by 10% year-over-year to 2.85 billion. The business has a market capitalization of $932 billion as of January 30th, 2020. Zuckerberg owns approximately 375 million Facebook shares and controls 60% of the company's voting power. Zuckerberg, who has a net worth of $119 billion as of May 2021, has joined the Giving Pledge, pledging to give at least half of his fortune to charitable organizations before he dies. He gave more than $100 million to rescue the Newark school system in New Jersey in 2010, for example. Many, however, have questioned Zuckerberg's manner of giving his wealth. Zuckerberg and Chan's charity foundation is a limited liability company, not a charitable trust. This choice enables the two to do things that charity trusts cannot, perhaps increasing the effectiveness of the foundation while also benefiting their family more than a conventional trust. There was an incident in which Mark and others essentially pushed Eduardo Saverin, a co-founder of Facebook, out of the business, resulting in Saverin filing a lawsuit against Facebook. Then there are all the other complaints you may level at Facebook, such as how they are almost certainly data mining and selling your personal information, as well as monitoring individuals who don't use Facebook, among a slew of other troubling activities. Facebook's users are ultimately seen as goods to be marketed to. This is how Facebook generates its revenue. If anything is offered for free on the internet, you are most likely the product. They may drive more eyes towards advertisements if they have more users. He's a millionaire, yet he can't seem to stop himself from succumbing to greed. His life seems to revolve around the inflating price of Facebook shares and being in and out of jail for unethical business operations. Many early Facebook developers have openly expressed their regret for what the company has become. They tried to make it addictive and it succeeded, but their deeds eventually caught up with them. That should make us all question their real motivations. Large advertisers and consumers have attempted to boycott Facebook on many occasions. Their efforts had little effect on Facebook's rising income figures. In addition, Facebook's monitoring and distribution of personal data is very shady and dishonest. The truth is that only a few people on Facebook are aware of what's going on. In the most devious manner possible, Zuckerberg stole the concept for Facebook. And nobody loves a thief. People who build on their ideas are appealing to us. In the early days of Facebook, he was nasty to the people closest to him. He was involved in several legal battles with some of his closest friends. Someone we all know takes credit for something they didn't create, perhaps for a school assignment, and these individuals irritate us. These are the personality kinds about which we gripe to our pals. People flee because of this kind of selfish, freeloading attitude. It's not a trust-building activity. This kind of deception is something that most people can't tolerate. He isn't in the media either. The Zuck avoids discussing his personal life on social media, which is good and to be appreciated. He has to do interviews on occasions, and he has to testify in front of Congress. He never appears on CNBC at random like other altruistic tech CEOs like Mark Benioff, Jack Dorsey, Chamath Palihapitiya, Mark Cuban, and others who wish to make the world a better place. In 2015, he made a $75 million donation to the San Francisco General Hospital, where his wife used to work as a doctor. Even in this scenario, which seems to show him doing good in the world, is loaded with controversy. Most recently, Facebook has banned former President Donald Trump from Facebook and Instagram permanently on January 7th, 2021, after he voiced sympathy for rioters at the US Capitol on January 6th. On May 5th, 2021, Facebook's oversight board said that the company was correct in banning Trump, but that it was incorrect in making the ban permanent, and that the business must determine whether the suspension is temporary or permanent. What has Zuckerberg done lately that is interesting or beneficial to the world? Do you believe Mark Zuckerberg had a positive influence on the youth? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And before leaving, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications on our future content. With that being said, we'll see you in the next one.